The year is 1992. The 16-bit console wars have already been raging for 2 years, with the next generation of 32-bit consoles looming over the horizon. Despite all this, some developers were happy to use their years of experience on the NES or Famicom to create some of the system's most ambitious and graphically impressive titles to date. One such developer that knew the Famicom inside and out was Sunsoft, a division of Sun Corporation. Sunsoft was initially known for early arcade games like Kangaroo and Route 16. Their initial debut on the Famicom would see them focus on ports of their arcade games, but would soon shift focus onto ambitious but overly difficult and clumsily made exclusives, games like Atlantis no Nazo and The Wing of Medulla. Soon they would license and port over other companies' arcade games, such as Namco Sky Kid, Midway's Spy Hunter, and even Sega games such as Fancy Zone and Alien Syndrome. However, in '88, they would come into their own with a milestone original release. Cho Wakusei Senki Metafight, or as we know it here, Blaster Master. A prototypical Metroidvania with incredible music. Soon after that, Sunsoft would be known for some of the best soundtracks and incredible sprite work the NES had to offer. They also started snatching up licenses such as Batman, Addams Family, and Gremlins 2, joined by original games such as Journey to Silius, Hebereki, and Battle Formula. They continued to push the NES or Famicom even further than before. Tomomi Sakai, who previously worked on Fester's Quest, had an idea for an original platformer for the Famicom that could not only best Mario, but also best 16-bit games in both graphics and sound. He quickly got to work putting together what he said was an all-star team at Sunsoft. While initially wanting both Yoshiaki Iwata and Hiroyuki Kagoya, both having previously worked on Blaster Master, only Kagoya would join Sakai's team, as Iwata had become tied up with Batman and its sequel. They'd be joined by Naohisa Marota, a sound programmer who had left Sunsoft, but as a request from Sakai came back to work as an outsourced contractor. Music would be provided by Masashi Kageyama, who had previously worked on PC Engine game Outlive. The team was named Authentic Entertainment, and they would soon make Sakai's dream a reality. We find a family celebrating their daughter's birthday. Her father gives her a gift which turns out to be a small green plush named Yume Taro. Yume Taro quickly becomes her new favorite toy. However, other toys soon become jealous and kidnap the girl, bringing her to an alternate dimension where toys live. Yumitaro must now traverse 7 levels in order to rescue her and bring her back home. At first glance, Gimmick looks like your typical bright and colorful side-scrolling platformer. While that is true for the visuals and sound, Gimmick has a lot of unique features that truly stand out. Yumitaro's main form of attack is a star that forms above his head. It takes a few moments for the star to form. You can only have one star on screen at a time, and tossing a star makes it bounce all over the place. What at first seems like an unwieldy weapon, you'll soon discover the versatility it offers. Along with being able to attack foes, the star can also be ridden on. A skilled player can make use of the star to travel around fast, or to reach higher up places. The enemies in the toy world are quite varied, with many only appearing for a single specific scene. Each one has their own AI and quirks for you to learn and overcome. Bosses are just as varied and smart, with some of them reacting to your movement and attacks. Speaking of movement, Gimmick flows like no other 8-bit platformer. Yume Taro is weighty. He slips down slopes, building up speed, something usually reserved for the 16-bit Sonics. Objects, traps, even enemies can be pushed around and are subject to the same slope physics as you are. The stars also have their own physics, being affected by both your vertical and horizontal velocity, as well as the slopes and walls of the level. Stages all have unique challenges such as spinning gears, falling mines, conveyor belts, booby traps, falling rocks, etc. The world may be bright and colorful, but it wants nothing more than to see our hero plummet to his death. And this leads us to the game's difficulty. Underneath the cute and colorful exterior lies a challenging platformer that will take many tries to get through. Yume Taro starts each level with 2 hit points, with a chance to pick up special potions that increase his max health to a maximum of 4. Yume Taro can also find 3 other potions, which he can store up to 3 of. One restores Yume Taro up to his current max health, while the other 2 give him some extra attack capabilities. Yume Taro does have chances to build up his lives though, either by gaining score or by pushing potions together when his inventory is full. If you lose all your lives, you do have the option of using a continue, of which you have 3 of. This will place you at the beginning of the stage you game overed at. Enemies require you to combat them in certain ways, and it's easy to find yourself becoming overwhelmed. If dealing with them wasn't enough, the stages themselves have devious traps designed to catch you off guard. If you do make it all the way through, using continues that is, you'll suddenly find your adventure cut short at the end of stage 6, with Yume Taro riding back on a bird alone, unable to rescue the girl. In order to access the final stage and the good ending, you'll have to complete the stages 1 through 6 without using a single continue. But that's not all. You also need to acquire the secret items. Hidden on each stage is a secret item you must acquire. Getting to them usually requires that the player masters the Star Ride mechanic. Some are also hidden behind the use of items and switches. Manage all that, and stage 7 will reveal itself, allowing Yume Taro to complete his quest and rescue the girl. Gimmick is one of my favorite NES games, and I find myself coming back to it quite often. Visually, it's quite stunning, and if you didn't know better, you could be fooled into thinking it's on superior hardware. Its soundtrack by Masashi Kageyama, with its extra channels provided by the Sunsoft 5B audio chip, is super punchy and memorable. I just love the feeling I get while playing it. Learning the game also feels quite rewarding, with its advanced techniques and many secrets to uncover. The smooth gameplay itself soon becomes quite the spectacle to witness. Sakai himself has described the game as an action game, whose charm increases as players polish their skills.
At the time, the mettle of a gamer was measured by how much of an audience would be watching them play at arcades. Those who were truly skilled weren't just people who were good at games, they were crowd pleasers whose gameplay charmed the audience. They knew how to charm people. That's the basis of entertainment, I think.
A US release was planned but ultimately cancelled, though not before being reviewed in the 1992 July issue of EGM. The game scored a 24 out of 40, with 3 of the reviewers dismissing it as a simple and easy kids game, even going as far as describing the player character as a little green booger. The game would, however, see a very limited release in Scandinavian territories as Mr. Gimmick. But with the NES lacking the expansion audio capabilities of their Japanese counterparts, the Sunsoft 5B chip had to be taken out and its music simplified. Time would be kind to Gimmick, with gamers and speedrunners soon discovering it, building up quite the fan following. Its tight gameplay, fun movement, and incredible presentation makes it a real standout among the NES library.
The game took 10 years for people to appreciate it.
Gimmick never got a sequel. The closest thing to a successor came out later that same year on the Game Boy with Trip World. While made by a different staff at Sunsoft, Sakai did act as a special advisor on the project. Trip World explores the same kind of relationships between enemies and the player character that Gimmick has. Like Gimmick, it too only got released in Japan and PAL regions. I can't think of any 8-bit title that can charm like Gimmick. Its incredible attention to detail makes you want to come back again and again to discover new things about its world, while its tough difficulty, combined with its short length, encourages you to master it. Give Gimmick a shot if you can. Even if you find it too difficult, the visuals and music alone are worth giving it a few tries. Hey there, thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about specific Gimmick gameplay, secrets, and tips, check out Retro Games Dissected, Mr. Gimmick, from Illusory Wall over on the right. I also did a good ending playthrough for Extra Life, which you can see over on our archive channel. If you liked what you saw, why not subscribe to the channel for more videos such as this? We're also on Twitch at twitch.tv/DreamHarrierLive, where we stream every Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday night. This has been Snake Man of Dream Harrier, signing off. Take care.